Hi everyone and welcome to the third episode in my favourites of 2023 series, which runs all the way through into the first week of January. This is my favourite episode of the entire series. I love bronzer and I love blush. So as you can imagine, it's really difficult for me to choose an ultimate favourite and an affordable favourite and a cruelty-free favourite within these two categories. So I have had to split them down. So we are talking favourite cream bronzers, favourite powder bronzers, and then we're actually splitting blush into three categories because it is that hard. Favourite cream blush, favourite liquid blush, favourite powder blush. If you haven't subscribed already, I would love it if you would come and join the family by giving this video some love with the like button, clicking the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos in this series. Let's get on with it. So as per usual, in my favourites videos at the end of the year, I'm going to be giving you my ultimate favourite. This is the favourite that I just can't do without. If that ultimate favourite is not affordable, I'll also be giving you an affordable favourite. And if neither of those favourites are cruelty-free, I'll also be giving you a cruelty-free favourite as well. So, bronzers. Let's talk about my favourite cream bronzer first before we go into powder bronzer. This is the one that I just cannot do without on a daily basis. It's from Makeup by Mario and it's actually a contour product rather than a bronzer, but I use it as both. I tend not to apply a powder bronzer or a cream bronzer over the top of this. For me, this is enough, but I do have quite fair skin. If you have a deeper skin tone than me, you may want to use another product on top of this. This is the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick. It is a definite favourite of mine. I absolutely love it. You get so much product for your money and you use hardly any. So I actually draw this directly on the skin. You don't have to though. You can apply a brush directly to the top of the product. The shade that I've gone for is light medium. It is the perfect shade for me. This blends out so beautifully. Whether you apply it on top of foundation or under foundation, it is seamless, it is airbrushed, it is just beautiful, extremely beginner friendly, and it's one of those creams that isn't overly shiny. I sometimes think stick bronzers can be a little bit on the oily side, which is great for a dry skin if you like a shiny sheen on the surface of the skin, which I get shiny enough throughout the day anyway, even though I've got dry patches, so I don't want to be shiny straight from the get-go. And I often find that the oilier the product, the more chance it's got of sliding off my skin throughout the day. And this one, with it having more of a matte sheen, it just doesn't do that, and it looks more natural. You have to make sure you don't go too deep with this because it can look a little bit muddy if you do, but like I said, if you are my shade twin, probably light medium is the one that you should opt for. I do put this underneath foundation though. If you're going to go on top of foundation and you're my shade twin, maybe light would be the one that you need. So, absolutely love it. I just think it is so versatile, so easy to use, looks beautiful on my skin and stays all day. Gorgeous. Even though I don't have a section for this product within this video, I need to mention it because it is sort of a bronzing slash contour product. This is from Victoria Beckham and it's the Contour Stylus, and I use this every day. I wasn't convinced about it when it first came through the door because you get so little product for your money. However, I just think it is genius. It is a beautiful formulation, very similar actually to the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick, but the difference is obviously this one is a lot smaller, and because it's a lot smaller, it's a lot more precise, which makes it absolutely perfect for nose contour, which I find difficult with this one because it's so big. The only way of doing it with this one, if you've already got this one and you don't want to stretch to this one, which I completely understand, get a really small, dense brush, pop a little bit of the product on and then you can do it. But I just like the convenience of this. It's so easy to blend out. It doesn't look super shiny on the skin. You don't need anything. You can blend it out with a brush if you want to, but if you look at Victoria Beckham doing it, she just draws this on and blends it out with her finger. Just a genius product, and I think it is a beautiful formula. Just love everything about it. I have the shade Travertine. I also have a darker shade which I think is called Marble, but this is the one that I reach for all the time over the other shade. My affordable favourite cream bronzer is from Revolution. This is the same as the affordable favourite from last year as well. It's such a great product. I have tried a lot of cream bronzers and most of them I'm underwhelmed by. This one was just so good. It is a lot shinier than the other two products that I've just mentioned, but it blends into the skin and it melts into the skin so nicely. I don't tend to be worried about that. It also lasts on the skin, which a lot of oilier, more shinier products don't do. This one is so good at being long lasting. I have two shades of this, so I've got the shade light and I've also got the shade medium. I used to prefer the shade medium, and then I've been through a lot of footage on my channel and realised that the shade medium is the wrong shade for me, and it took going and having a look at past videos to actually realise that. My skin just looked a little dirty, a little bit muddy, so I have to be a little bit more patient with this one now. Sometimes subtlety is better. Definitely in this case. So yeah, this is my affordable favourite cream bronzer. I just think it is lovely, and for the price you cannot go wrong. My ultimate favourite powder bronzer once again goes to Victoria Beckham Beauty. These are stunning. So we have two shades of the bronzing bricks. I've got shade 1 and shade 2. I bought shade 1 in the very beginning and then realised I also needed shade 2 because these just are divine, really beautiful, and you get two shades for your money. The one thing I will say with this, if you're wanting to travel with this in your handbag, these are definitely like a brick. They are very heavy. Gorgeous packaging. I mean, look, absolutely stunning packaging. This is chunky. You get a nice mirror in here as well. It's a beautiful, like a tortoiseshell design. Really love everything about it, but the weight, I wish they'd made this a little bit lighter. I mean, it feels very expensive, but both of these are absolutely stunning and blend out effortlessly. So you can really swirl your brush in both shades, and even if your foundation isn't 100% dry, it doesn't stick in one place. It's really easy to blend, and I think that is superb. So once again, Victoria Beckham is cruelty-free, and my affordable favourite is also cruelty-free. This is from Beauty Pie, and it is the Awesome Bronze. I have this in two different shades. The shade Sunnyside, which is the fairest shade that they do, which is this particular one. And I also have the shade Goldilocks, which is slightly deeper. So this one I tend to use in the summer, and I use Sunnyside in the winter and autumn months. So nice, great quality. The reason I joined Beauty Pie in the first place was that they did luxury quality products at a fraction of the cost, and this is definitely one of those. I was blown away by the quality of this. It's really quite hard pressed, very similar to the press on the Victoria Beckham bronzers, and it's just really nice. Again, you can swirl your brush in the pan and not have to worry about it looking powdery on the face because it just melts into the skin really beautifully. And this one is fair enough for me, even in the autumn winter months, and I do like to have it a little bit deeper in the winter, but it's really nice to actually find a brand that is willing to bring out a really fair bronzer that is not orange, and this is definitely not orange. It's got a little bit of a pinky hue, and I love that. So I have a change from last year in my ultimate favourite cream blush. I stumbled upon Merit Beauty this year and loved a lot of their products. Their Flush Blush was definitely a winner in my full face of Merit Beauty. If you haven't seen that video already, I will link it up here for you and link it at the end of this video as well, so you can give that a watch if you are interested in seeing what else I liked. But this was definitely a winner. I love it. I have it on today. It's got the most beautiful sheen, which is more like a glow from within look. Very flattering, very girly, very fresh. This is in the shade Fox, and I mean, come on, look, how gorgeous is that? If you want to, you can use this as a bronzer as well in those summer months. It looks like you've been out in the sun for slightly too long, but it does have that bronzy edge to it too, which is extremely beautiful. I just love this. I don't like to apply this direct to the skin, which is how it's supposed to be applied. I like to pop a brush on the top of it and then stipple it onto my cheeks. I just find that easier. Plus, I like a lot of blush on my cheeks, and I just don't think you get a lot of blush on when you swipe it on the cheeks, and it can disturb your makeup underneath if you swipe it. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of doing that, but stippling it on over the top of my foundation is definitely a win for me. Love everything about this. It's lovely, and you get a lot of product too, so win-win. Merit Beauty is cruelty-free, and so is this next brand for my affordable favorite, which is from e.l.f. This is a completely different product altogether. I mean, if you love this, you're not guaranteed to love this, because this has a little bit of a shimmer to it. It's more like a metallic edge, so it has a sheen on the surface of the skin, but there's a hint of sparkle in there. It's not chunky glitter. It's not like you've lit yourself up like a glitter ball with chunky particles of glitter on the cheek. But it's more subtle than that, but it is definitely there. So if you don't like that sort of shimmer on the cheek, or if you have quite a lot of texture on your cheek or open pores, this one may not be for you, but I really, really like it. This one is the Luminous Putty Blush, and my favorite shade is the shade Belize, which is this shade. I also have the shade Maui in my drawer as well, but this is the one that I reach for most often. When you first apply this, it looks like it's going to be quite patchy. I was worried when I first got my hands on this. However, instead of swiping this on with a brush or with your finger, if you stipple it on like I do with the Merit Beauty Flush Blush, this is an effortless application and looks so pretty. Moving on to liquid blush, my ultimate favorite was a no-brainer. I've spoken about this liquid blush so many times on my channel, I think everybody would have been outraged had this not been in my top spot. These are from Charlotte Tilbury, and they are the Pillow Talk Matte Beauty Blush ones. I have these in the shade Pink Pop, Pillow Talk, and Peach Pop. So this has a little sponge on the end, and it also has a lock. So if you want to take this away with you on holiday, you can actually lock the product so none of the product comes out if this gets squeezed. It can still break. It's not a massively sturdy product, but it's very well designed. It's really nice to use. You don't get product everywhere. Some of the more affordable alternatives to this don't have a lock and end up with product oozing out all over the place. I don't find that this does that. It's just nice, and it's pleasant to apply. One dot will do the entire cheek unless you're like me, and then 2 dots is probably needed, but just a gorgeous product. It does say it's matte. I've spoken about this lots. I don't think it's matte. I do think it has a nice satin sheen, which is incredibly flattering. I'm not mad that this isn't matte. I don't think I'd want it to be matte. It's more on the matte side than a shimmer or a really luminous blush. It's definitely more matte than both of these two cream blushes, but in my opinion, definitely not matte. So I think it's more flattering than matte. I think it's absolutely stunning. So Charlotte Tilbury is cruelty-free, so I only need to provide you with an affordable favourite, and that I definitely have for you. This is from Max Factor, and it's the Miracle Pure Infused Cream Blush. I have this in several shades again, but my favourite one that I reach for most often is Vintage Peony. Now this is so much more glowy than the Charlotte Tilbury. Again, completely different product, very similar to the Merit versus the e.l.f. Worlds apart. This has, once again, a little bit of a shimmer in it. If you're wanting to really emphasize the cheeks, you can use this as a highlighter if you want to, even though the shade suggests it's a blush. You can also use this to plump out the cheek if you use it all over the cheek area. I like to use it like that, and every time I wear this, I get complimented wherever I go. What is the blush that you have on? It is absolutely beautiful, or your skin is glowing today. What are you wearing? So nice, it really is, and it blends out really nicely. So this one doesn't have a sponge applicator. It's slightly more challenging to apply, so you pop a little bit on the back of your hand, warm it up first before you go in with a brush. I don't like to apply this with my fingers. I think it's a little bit messy and it doesn't blend out as well. But with a brush, and my favorite brush to use, the Refa 17 brush, it has a flat end on this, so it's really quick and easy to apply your blush in a stippling motion and just make a very seamless blend. It does have its flaws, this product. Like I said, it's slightly difficult and a challenge to apply. However, once you got it right, so good. Moving on to ultimate favorite powder blush. This one I refound this year. It's from Givenchy and it's the Prism Libra blush. I actually bought this in another shade, 03 this year, which I love, but 04 Organza CN is still my ultimate favorite shade. I just think it is so super flattering. It does come with a little powder puff. I've never used this. I just don't see the point. It's so small, so I like to use this with a brush. I tip the tiniest amount, and you will see me apply this in my full face of ultimate favorites. I tip a tiny little bit in the lid, swirl my brush in the lid to completely cover my brush, knock off any excess, and then dab on the cheeks, and it is just perfection. Seriously is. You get so much product for your money in this tub, so although it is an investment, it's pricey, it's a luxury product, it lasts such a long time. I think I must have had this a good 2 years and it's still going. I use this so often. Look at it. Look how much product is left in this container. I mean, it's gonna last me forever. My affordable favourite is from Revlon. This is the powder blush in the shade 020 Ravishing Rose. This is so silky smooth. If this was in a different container, which is very plasticky and rather cheap looking, I would never know that this was an affordable product. Ever. I mean, the quality of this, it glides onto the cheeks. It has that silky, smooth effect. It's got a tiny bit of a sheen to it. It's not matte, but it's not luminous. It's just something in between, which is incredibly flattering. And again, really girly and youthful looking. And the shade, oh, so pretty. It's in between pink and peach. Another reason why I really like this is, although it's pigmented, it's not overly pigmented, so you can load your brush. This is very beginner friendly. You haven't got to be really tentative with the brush on the cheek for fear that you're going to look like a clown. It's not one of those blushes. But it also doesn't look powdery once it's on the cheek. It also lasts all day as well, which a lot of affordable blush does not do. When you put it on, it generally looks absolutely stunning, and then within a few hours you're having to apply it again. This is not one of those. It's got great longevity. Both Revlon and Givenchy are not cruelty-free, so my cruelty-free favourite goes to e.l.f. Let me tell you, this blush has stamina for days. Once this is on the cheek, it is not going anywhere. This is the primer infused blush in the shade Always Rosy, which is such a gorgeous shade. Once again, you can use this as bronzer as well as blush because it's one of those with quite a browny hue undertone, so it looks very pretty in those summer months. If you don't like going outdoors like me, I am not an outdoorsy girl at all, but you want to make it look like maybe you have been outdoors, this is such a great product to do that with. Just apply it very, very lightly around the areas that you'd usually apply your bronzer to give you that glow, and this just gives you that crispy look. Not burnt, but just, I've been laying out, I've been in the sun for a little bit too long, aren't I beautiful? That sort of thing. So good at that. This is not coming off until you wash it off at the end of the day. It goes on really beautifully. It melts into the skin. You do have to be slightly careful with this to not apply this on top of any damp product, because this will grab and adhere to that damp product, which then becomes quite difficult to blend out. So just be warned with that. However, if you apply this on top of an already set foundation, no biggie. Just really smooth, really nice blend, and like I said, it's going nowhere. So they are my ultimate favourite, affordable favourite, cruelty-free favourite bronzers and blushes of 2023. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I will put the entire playlist of my favourites of 2023 over here for you. If you have missed any of the videos so far, just click on that. It will take you through and you'll be able to watch them after this video. I really hope you've enjoyed this. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and hope to see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.